Okay, so why was Sir Keir Starmer heckled by some of the people in that crowd the other day about Julian Assange, and why were they asking questions such as, why did you go after Julian Assange? Well, Keir Starmer was head of the CPS, the Crown Prosecution Service, between 2008 and 2013. He was the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions. Now, in 2012, that was when Julian Assange sought refuge in the Ecuadorian embassy because Sweden had signed a European arrest warrant to do with allegations of sexual misconduct while he was over there. Now, Julian said all along the Sweden investigation was just something that was a ruse to get him into custody so the indictment against him in America could be unsealed. And when he was in custody, that's exactly what happened. During that period, there were thousands of emails going back and forth between the CPS, its lawyers, and the Sweden prosecutors. And we know that key emails in this case have been deleted by one of those prosecutors a few years later. We also know that the CPS, of which Sir Keir Starmer was the head at the time, had urged Sweden not to come to the UK and interview Assange in the embassy, and wrap up the case. Why would they do that? Why, when Marianne Nye, the Swedish prosecutor, said to the CPS they may have to abandon the case in Sweden, why did the CPS respond with, don't you get cold feet? Why did they want to extend Julian Assange's arbitrary detention and psychological torture? That's the words, by the way, of Nils Melzer, the United Nations specialist on torture, not my words. The Sweden investigation was open and closed more times than a fridge door. There were never any charges brought forward, never any charges, despite what you may read, and neither woman involved ever accused Julian of rape. Ever. Julian's arbitrary detention went on for a further 7 years until finally Ecuador, after taking a loan from the IMF, revoked Julian's citizenship, and the Met went in and dragged him out of his asylum in that act of fascism. And like I said, the minute he was in custody, the indictment in America was unsealed and more charges were brought forward, and then more charges a month later. He got the maximum sentence for skipping bail, 50 weeks, in Belmarsh, the country's worst prison, and has been there ever since, for over 1,000 days now, and he's there now on remand. Committed no crime whatsoever, with the country's worst criminals to keep him company at night, rapists and murderers and terrorists. This has all been enabled by the British state, of which Sir Keir has a huge part to play and huge questions to answer for.